Hello everyone, today we're gonna talk about how one player can change everything. As you know, I've been maining velkoz since February 25th, 2014, which is the release, and I've been one of the only consistent high elo velkoz players in the world, and I've been continuously grinding on it, and I've been challenger for pretty much every season, and a lot of seasons multiple challenger. Even today, I get flamed a lot. In challenger lobbies, people don't want to play velkoz, they're telling me pick a real champ, this doesn't work. True. That as well. Can you not play velkoz support? Bro, you're drafting a useless character. What do you want from me? They tend to give up early game if you fall a little bit behind because they regard the champion as pure dead weight. So it's not very fun playing with that. Well, I try to do my best and see what happens. You know, I just play chill and try to grind. So imagine my shock when people link me the win rates and they tell me, look at this Azzapp. velkoz is literally the best champion in the world. I'm like, there's no way. So they keep linking me stats, and sure enough, the stats say velkoz is 57 to 8% win rate, which is by far the best out of all champions in support role. So I decided to take a look, and I was like, you know, maybe these collecting websites are weird. People started writing real articles about this. They are confused as to how such a bad character, one of the really bad champs for solo queue, which every velkoz player will tell you it's really bad. Everyone is started like writing about how the fuck is this champion high win rate in high elo. There was a .esports article that got linked to me multiple times. I decided to read and take a deep dive. It turns out the stats they're bouncing off of were basically my stats. Okay, let's check this out. Let's check this out. A unique league support pick has the best win rate of all champs in challenger right now. Pick rate 0.9%. velkoz in challenger in the world 13.1. And you know what's the funniest thing about the 57% win rate? That is literally my win rate, and I have 200 games. I have 200 games. Perhaps the biggest reason for the high win rate is a low sample size. Yeah, no shit. So when they compare with challenger stats, it's basically 65-70% of my games. So those are mostly my games. I think some of them pop in because it takes the average elo of the lobby in these searches instead of the player's elo. Because as far as I'm aware, there are no challenger velkoz supports, sadly. So it turns out this 57.6 directly correlates to my 58% win rate on velkoz, which is basically my stats. They're looking at my stats. So that's the mystery. There's a very low player size, and velkoz will, for a decent chunk of time, be the #1 support in the world. Because the fun thing about these stats is they cannot really be tainted. Not many players in challenger can ruin these stats. They're basically my stats, so we can expect velkoz to be S tier support for a really long time. But yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny how they wrote articles about this. They have no clue how is this happening, but yeah, it turns out it's just me. As long as I play well and keep the good win rate, I can skyrocket velkoz forward. Take that, velkoz haters. I'll try to grind as much as possible and play as well as possible. Ideally, we can get this to 60% win rate, so people are gonna lose their minds about velkoz being the best champion in the game. So I'm gonna explain to you exactly right now how I do it. Let's take a little take on my playstyle and why I do it this way and how I do it, so you guys can try to replicate and you can learn and get better at velkoz. So it's gonna be like a mini velkoz support guide here, because I do have velkoz support guides existing from before that talk about the general principles and the guide and how you should operate in the map. But yeah, here's why this works really. Funnily enough, when you go to UGG and check the velkoz challenger runes, it's basically my runes again. It's my leveling order, my items and everything. And funnily enough, the items that people criticize, they love to criticize so much, especially on TikTok. Man, they don't like my Night Harvester. Yeah, don't listen to this guy, just go lane race. I mean, yeah, don't listen to the triple challenger guy. Night Harvester is the worst mythic in the game, useless if you don't end the game in 20 minutes. Well, velkoz isn't the support, so that's that. That's enough with that. Lost Chapter is such a nice early power spike, bruh. So yeah, the runes that you want to go are Dark Harvest, as you can see here, Cheap Shot. I like getting Eyeball Collection, and Relentless is mandatory. A lot of them are versatile depending on the matchup, but the mandatory things are Dark Harvest, Relentless Hunter, and Manifold Band. Everything else is variable, because what you're doing is you're rushing Night Harvester. The Alternator build path is so superb in early game and snowballing, and this new season is all about snowball potential. So you want to get ahead, you want to snowball, you want to be able to pop enemies 100 to 0, and that's kind of what you will be able to do. You obviously max Q because you're support. You don't really wave clear, so you don't need W and E. You will be rushing Night Harvester, then you finish Sorcerer Shoes, and then you get Shadow Flame. So the point is, you're going for that initial damage impact, initial burst. The playstyle revolves around moving across the map a lot, which is Relentless Hunter, because you're out of combat most of the time. You find better angles. The more you can position, the better angles you can find. The better angles you can find, the less chance of them to dodge. So the whole playstyle has been characterized as very oppressive. Most of my friends that I play against in high elo, they always tell me you're so oppressive. Like, it's hard to play. A recent example of it versus Natty Nat yesterday when we played 3 games against him, and he just didn't have a fun time. Bro, the whole idea is to go that double alternator setup. One alternator into Night Harvester, second Shadow Flame. You're just popping enemies. Common concerns about this is, well, why wouldn't you just get Ludens? You get extra penetration, you get mana, all of that. Night Harvester is much better. You get higher efficiency of it. As you'll see in some clips here showcase that Night Harvester value is through the roof in team fights, in pop peak scenarios, and the thing is, it's controllable compared to the Ludens. You can control where it pops, basically. And paired up with the Night Harvester, or Night Harvester paired up with the Dark Harvest, allows for some very, very creative one-shots and cool moments. And that's kind of what you care about. Closing out of the kill is way more valuable than getting the damage at the start, right? Because when you play, let's say, Landries or Ludens, you play for pressure, you play to get enemies low, which is fine. Comet does way more damage than Dark Harvest. But Dark Harvest damage points are arguably more valuable, because there's an argument to be made about efficacy of doing damage. Taking someone from 100 to 90% is not the same as taking someone from 10% to 0%, because this 10 to 0 holds significant weight. It basically skews the game, because you get the money, you get 300 gold, maybe assist of someone else, you get more stacks, which means you get stronger. You obviously remove them from the map, they lose experience, everything. So closing out of the kills is very good. The reset mechanic of Dark Harvest in the team fight is so good. Especially paired up with the Night Harvester. You just have to touch everyone in the team fight once, you provide insane impact. But the key to this playstyle is roaming. You have to unlock your potential. You don't run out of mana, because if you do, you're playing it wrong. Early game, you can't really poke that much anyway, so you don't really pressure too much. You just try to farm mana flow bands early game, farm money on your support item, pick up your Dark Seal, pick up your alternator, and then try to snowball from there. You want to roam around the map. You want to do a lot of recalls because you're really fast out of combat. Supports tend to do a lot of recalls anyway, so if you buy mana, you're wasting resources of mana which you don't really expand. You're not wave clearing. Recall, place wards, make a gank, make another gank, recall, place wards, prepare the dragon. One hidden value of this build is that people don't really understand is you will only understand this once you play against it. If you're a Nautilus, if you're a Thresh, if you're running through the jungle trying to prepare a dragon, and you get a very awkward angle Q shot at you, and you get hit, and then you realize that you get popped with that Night Harvester and you lose 40% of your HP off of one Q, you're not going back down there to ward. So you are indirectly controlling river, you're controlling objectives, you're controlling different angles across terrain, and you're creating so much more space for your team than you can imagine. So this is the indirect value that's really not reflected or calculable anywhere, but just the fact that you hit somebody, made them low, they fall back a little bit, you gain so much control on the map. And that's one of the primary ways you create advantages. So that is the playstyle. That's how you do it. Vel'koz, Dark Harvest, Night Harvester support, slightly slower early, try to create some good fights. If you trade equally early, it's pretty good because you're stacking, and then you want enemies to be low, you want to prepared for level 6 combo. The reset mechanic is super good because very often you can break lanes 2v3, 2v4, right? If you get one kill, boom, you have a higher chance of getting another one, and that can totally break the games. Obviously, there's a lot of it is matchup dependent. Some matchups absolutely are annoying, like Yuumi, although Yuumi now got nerfed, which is opening up more space for vel'koz. That's why we're seeing a rise in the win rate, because I don't have to ban Yuumi, right? I tend to ban Nami right now in solo queue, because theoretically she counters everything vel'koz does. She counters the poke with infinite sustain, she doesn't lose mana, and she gives movement speed so they can maneuver around your skill shots. And you can't channel ult because she's gonna ult you. Another thing is you're destroying that Lucian Nami combo, which is basically unplayable against in most matchups anyway. So that's kind of the most valuable ban that you have right now, and that's what I'm doing. And yeah, that's about it. That is how one player made this champion best in the world in terms of win rate. A champion has been forgotten. A champion that has pick rate of 1%. You see this champion once every 100 games. His ban rate is 0.2%. vel'koz is banned once every 500 games. I see it way more often in my games, but that's mostly because people snipe. But anyway, those are ridiculous stats, and this is good because I'm not even mad that some people might pick it up and ruin the win rate, because I just hope more people pick this champion. He's so cool. He's so enjoyable. he has unlimited potential. There are no such things as losing matchups. I mean, there are obviously matchups that are bad, but the thing is, velkoz opens up whole another dimension of gameplay where if you play perfectly, you can beat anything. So that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm always coming short of it, but I'm improving always. So that's the thing. Pick up velkoz, try it in the support, try my build. It's phenomenal. I call this a dopamine harvester. Like, if you land the combo, that's it. Like, you never go back to the other playstyle once you do Night Harvest, the Dark Harvest. But yeah, thank you all for watching. This is a very funny scene, man. I just laughed my ass off when I saw this. And it's like, wait, why is velkoz top tier? Like, turns out there's a one lunatic who plays it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this fun side video and a minor guide. I'll see you in the next one, and peace.